The Rivers Elders and Leaders Forum is condemning the impeachment attempt against Governor Siminalayi Fubara, labeling the move as unacceptable and advocating for a peaceful resolution to the political turmoil in Rivers State. In a communique following an emergency meeting, the forum expressed discontent with recent developments in state politics, including the reported police attack on Governor Fubara, the bombing of the State House of Assembly chambers, and other lawless acts endangering peace and security in the oil-rich region. Annkio Briggs, a member of the Rivers State Elders and Leaders Forum, is here with us on Newsday to discuss the results of the recent meeting of the forum regarding the political crisis in Rivers State, as well as additional initiatives they are undertaking alongside other stakeholders to foster reconciliation among the conflicting factions. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, first, let's start with the meeting that you had. You know, in your communique, you said that neither Fubara nor Wike have responded to letters seeking an audience with them. So what then would you say is the way forward, seeing as both gentlemen are adamant on who is in charge in Rivers State?
The way forward is for the governor to come to terms with the fact that he is actually the governor of Rivers State, and that he is a duly elected governor of Rivers State. And with this comes along certain powers that he can exercise, and he must exercise those powers. It has a lot to do with security. It has a lot to do with his access to what will enable him to work, funds. It has a lot to do with him choosing the people that will work with him, and choosing the people that will be in charge of security, which includes his own personal security and security of Rivers State. It includes him also exercising the political powers that have been invested on him by the people who voted for him to be the governor of Rivers State. So it is primarily about Sim Fubara. Now, the secondary issue is the intervention that is becoming very clear. The negative intervention of the activities of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, who quite rightly was the one that brought out Sim Fubara and enabled him to come out and present himself to the people of Rivers State. And also, of course, bearing in mind the issue of the dichotomy, the upland-riverine dichotomy in the politics of Rivers State. And it is on that platform that Sim Fubara, silently or otherwise, have emerged as a candidate, and then, of course, as the person that eventually is declared the winner. It is rather sad that somebody like the former governor, I personally, and so many other Rivers sons and daughters, but I'm not a politician, but I definitely supported him through his 2 tenures, even during the time when the election was held in 2019 and people were killed in my community, and all of those sort of activities went on. He never lost the support of the people of Rivers State, all the peoples of Rivers State, of the different ethnic nationalities. So it really is rather very sad at this point that we find ourselves where Rivers State is in the eye of the storm through no fault of the people of Rivers State, definitely through no fault of the governor Sim Fubara. The idea to impeach Fubara, we don't know why the attempt was made to impeach Fubara. Fubara wants to know why. We want to know why the attempt was made to impeach Sim Fubara. So there is definitely a desire on some activities and some actors, key players, to make Rivers State unstable by destabilizing the governor and destabilizing, therefore, the peace and quiet of Rivers State. Now, the issue also, we saw the day that the complex was blown up or dynamited. We also saw what happened to the governor, Fubara. He was pelted, he was attacked by what is seemed to be some members of the security forces in Rivers State. He could have been killed, and that would have even brought Rivers State more chaos to the state and to the people of Rivers State. The bottom line truly is that Fubara is the governor of Rivers State. If he has done anything that deserves impeachment, then let us hear what those things are and let things be done properly the way that it should be done. I do not believe in godfatherism. I think that a lot of Nigerians do not believe in political godfatherism. And I think as electorates, we should also stop that, because when we vote for a governor, we did not vote for his father or his mother, whether godfather politically or otherwise. We voted for a person, not even his wife or his children. We voted for just one individual. And that individual is the person that we will hold accountable, and not the godfather or great-grandfather or whatever of the governor.
Fair enough. What is it about Rivers State in particular that makes it such a critical piece within our democracy and within our nation as well? We're seeing it proverbially go up in smoke with the fightings of these two powerhouses. Why is it very critical to make sure that Rivers State is stabilized in the context of the entire nation?
Well, it is again rather sad because I'm a Rivers daughter, and I have grown up under the feet of family members who have played political roles in Rivers State. And therefore, I do understand the politics of Rivers State very well. Now, the fact that Rivers State seems to be so volatile is very clearly because there are very different political interests that is surrounded by different ethnic interests in Rivers State. And we are trying to manage this difference in ethnicity states and bringing in political interest that actually is not Rivers State interest, but outsiders who have political interest to control Rivers State. Now, Rivers State is very key because Rivers State is a major oil and gas producer for the benefit of Nigeria. And so when we have issues in Rivers State, it automatically affects the whole of the Niger Delta region, whether people believe it or not. I just heard, hello?
We still have Annkio Briggs, a member of the Rivers State Elders and Leaders Forum. Thank you for staying with us, and apologies for the break in transmission. Thank you for joining us once again.
Thank you.
Regarding
Yes.
Rivers State, just before we got cut off, you were explaining the intricate yet tricky details that involve Rivers State's political versus ethnic dynamic and why it is making the region quite volatile, if you would continue.
Yeah. Yes, okay. And so coming back to explaining about these things in Rivers State now, the issue today that we have on ground, as I said earlier on, Fubara has a lot of support across board in the whole of Rivers State, from Ikwere land to Oba, to all the ethnic nationalities. So this is not just about two ethnic nationalities, it is about the soul of Rivers State. Now, earlier on, you were going by the communique that we had issued. Now, in that communique, you of course recall that we had said in that communique that the elders had written to both of them, and I refuse to call them gladiators. We've written to both of them, and none had replied. As elders of the state, we have to be able to tell the truth and stand by the truth. we cannot not speak the truth. So we've not been able to speak to either Nyesom Wike or the governor of Rivers State, which is really sad, because a body that are considered the elders amongst peoples of Rivers State have written to them, and none of them has responded. We wait to hear why. Now, we go back to the issue of the interest, the outside interest that is now coming to overbear, and the issue of Rivers State and the politics of Rivers State and the economic interest of Rivers State. Rivers State is being devalued right now by these activities, not by Fubara, but by, in our opinion, by the activities of someone, Nyesom Wike, a former governor who is now the minister of the Capital Territory. And even if he feels that he needs to contribute, if you like, towards how SIM should govern, it should not be in this overbearing manner, and actually it should not be at all, because if SIM is not capable of running the government, then why did the former governor of Rivers State make sure that SIM was sold to the people of Rivers State? You go back also to what had occurred, how SIM Fubara, the idea that there is still a group of people who theoretically, by crossing over, have lost their seats, are still actually going through the legal system, as we have the elders have referred to it, shopping for legal loopholes, if you like, to be able to go behind the back door and still persist on this issue of impeaching SIM Fubara, which will destabilize Rivers State. And when it does that, it will affect the whole of the Niger Delta. And when it affects the whole of the Niger Delta, it will affect Nigeria. It will affect the government, the federal government, because the president today is an APC president, and we have situation with another supposed opposition party, which is the PDP party, to which, in all intents and purposes, Wike still belongs to, and SIM Fubara also belongs to. At the bottom line, what the people of Rivers State are saying, youths and older people, is that SIM should be allowed to govern. You cannot have the aircrafts that belong to the state in Abuja. What is it doing there? There are vehicles that SIM Fubara should have access to and should be under his control as the governor of Rivers State when he goes to Abuja. He's denied access to all of these things. And we are saying that all of these things, if it continues to go on the way it is going on, and it doesn't seem to be easing up as far as the pressure that is being applied on Rivers people and on SIM Fubara, it doesn't look good. And all well-meaning people should be able to tell whoever needs to be told, as we are doing, that we will not accept this, and it is not in the interest of Rivers State, it is not in the interest of the people of Rivers State. It will destabilize the state, it will destabilize the region, because there are interest parties all across the length and breadth of the Niger Delta, particularly Rivers State.
No, very well said. Earlier, you talked about the fact that you do not believe in godfathers and that the people of Rivers State did not vote for a godfather. But the truth of the matter is that that is the realities of Nigerian politics. You've heard Nyesom Wike say that he has put in place a structure in Rivers State, and that he will never be politically irrelevant. He's not going to allow anybody to drag him down, or destroy the structure that he has put in place. So definitely this conflict brings to mind the dangers of godfathers in Nigerian politics. So I'm wondering, is there a way that we can maybe reduce or minimize the impact of godfathers in our politics in Nigeria?
There is a need for someone to think that someone is his son politically. I think this, I said earlier on, that I believe personally that this issue of godfatherism is a major problem in Nigeria. The present president of Nigeria himself is not a stranger to this, to what we're discussing, as he is considered and is known and recognized, if you like, not by me, but by politicians, that he is the godfather of politics in Lagos State, to a large extent, maybe in the Yoruba land. I'm not speaking for Yoruba people. I'm just assessing what I am sensing. And so when you have that type of a situation, you disenfranchise the people. I mean, if, for instance, Wike is the godfather of Sim, then who is the godfather of the electorate? Who is the godmother of the electorate? Who is the grandfather of the electorate? I mean, it becomes really ridiculous when, instead of talking about security of Nigeria, security of Niger Delta, River State, instead of talking about development, instead of talking about the issues of environmental devastation, we're busy talking about irrelevant things, politically irrelevant, I might add, and definitely developmentally irrelevant to the people of any state, but particularly to the people of River State, who is the godfather of whom, you know. And when the former governor of River State says his structure, I really don't understand. What is this structure? Okay, when he took over from Amechi, so what happened to Amechi's structure? Amechi took over from Omeya. Did Omeya not have structure? Omeya took over from Odili. Odili didn't have structure. What is this thing we're talking about, structure? What structure? And who is making who irrelevant politically? I mean, right now, I don't see how anybody can claim political relevance in River State over the governor of River State. The governor of River State is the primary #1 political influencer and political leader of River State, whether he is of APC or Labour or PDP or whatever. Once you are the governor of a state, you are then the #1 political voice of that state. So I don't understand when the minister is insisting that he doesn't want to be relevant. If he doesn't want to be relevant, he cannot run a third term as a governor. And he's a minister of the Federal Capital Territory. He's not a minister of River State. He's not the governor of River State. He's a minister. And I don't see why he should feel that he is politically irrelevant. Is he saying, therefore, that for him to be politically relevant, he must partake in the activities of politics in River State? I don't think so. He served 2 terms, and he's a former governor. And if we think we need his contribution into politics, I'm sure that we will not hesitate to call on him. But I think it is overbearing for anyone, not just Nyesom Wike, for anyone to think that they can be thousands of miles away from a state that they've governed before and are holding a political position, a high-placed political position at the federal level, and yet insist that they must also have the highest political say in River State. I don't see why Nyesom Wike is insisting he is doing away. So is doing away with his structure. Are we saying then that if politically structures are the relevance, then if he doesn't want to be relevant by maintaining his structure, why did he leave office? He should have stayed on in office. Is he saying that Sim, therefore, should not develop his own political structure, and that it is Wike's structure that is now going to be the structure? Okay, let us say Sim is a governor on Labour Party, for instance. Will he say that Labour Party cannot have a structure and that the structure must then be either PDP or APC? Because even right now, we are not sure if the former governor is a member of the APC, or is he a member of PDP? We really are not sure. And these are the problems that we have. I repeat that even though I'm not a politician, when the former governor was a governor for 2 tenures, I personally supported him, and so did a lot of people. And I think it is unfair to us that supported him as far back as we did, for us now to be placed in this position where we are, if you like, the ones that are fighting for the soul of Rivers State. But we have no choice, because Rivers State belongs to all of us. But it is being handed over to Fubara to govern on our behalf as of right now. We didn't give it to Nyesom Wike to govern. And his structure is his own structure. It's not our structure. It's not Sim's structure. It is his own structure. And I see no reason why Sim should be expected to if you like, to sustain the former governor's structure. With
well
what
said.
is he going to sustain it?
Right.
With whom is he going to sustain these political structures?
Right. Well, fair enough. Earlier, you were discussing the role that lawsuits played in this. You were talking about how both sides had kind of been shopping around decisions that would favor either side. Well, what do you make of this recent development as of today? There was a copy of a ruling that has just surfaced. It's unsigned by the judge, but it's an alleged ruling that restrains the INEC and the IG of police and the DSS from taking any steps to remove those 27 lawmakers that defected from PDP to the APC. In another one of those tit for tat moments, because it seems like the situation is still playing out. How do you view this and the potential effects?
Well, again, this is rather most unfortunate, because we cannot be dragged backwards all the time. It's either we're going to move forward in politics, in democracy, in development, in justice, in truth-telling, if you like, where the judiciary, again, I call the judiciary has let the people of Nigeria down. Not all the judiciary, but a certain section of the judiciary, some members of the judiciary, have decided that they will rather side with the other arm of government, of which they are the independent arm of government. But they are siding, if you like, with the executive arm when it suits them, and with the legislative arm when it suits them. If not, take what that document that came to the notice of everybody, but particularly we spoke on it as well in our meetings and deliberated it and looked at the document. And it's quite ridiculous that these 27 people that have crossed over to APC by law and by precedents that have been set legally before this time, when you leave your party and you cross to another party, there are terms and conditions in which you are able to do so rightly or you're able to do so wrongly. And there are times when you lose your seat when you do these things. And those things have not applied in Rivers State, one. Then two, we have a situation where these people have crossed over to another political party, disregarding the political party on which they stood, and the people they are representing voted for them to be in the assembly. Now, they have gone to Abuja by the document that we are seeing to Court 8 or wherever, under a particular judge. And they have put some propositions across. And it seems that without even having heard it, there was already a judgment that had been written, albeit not signed, but has been written. And so therefore, it means that this is a backdoor way. It's criminality. It's legal rascality. It's judiciary rascality. It is unacceptable. It's a crime that we can have a judiciary that is supposed to be the last hope of the common man, where you now can buy a judgment. Not only can you buy a judgment, you can buy it even before you have even brought a case. So you buy the judgment, you write the judgment, you purchase the judgment yourself, and then you go to court. And then supposedly that is what the judge has done. So it's shameful, it's embarrassing, and it is absolutely unacceptable and should be acceptable to any lover of truth and justice anywhere in Nigeria, anywhere in the world, that there are a group of men and women that are supposed to be speaking on our behalf, and yet they have sold us out to politicians. Is unacceptable, and I will continue to speak against this sort of thing, no matter whose ox is going to be God and where it's going to be God.
Annkio Briggs, member Rivers State Elders and Leaders Forum, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday, and we do pray and hope that peace comes speedily to Rivers State.